What if I told you that something sitting in your kitchen right now, something you probably touched this morning without a second thought, is quietly wearing down two of the hardest working organs in your entire body? I've spent years watching the fallout of this in my own practice. Good people, otherwise healthy, walking in with kidney damage that had been building for decades before anyone noticed. Today, I'm going to break that silence. No confusing medical jargon, no lecture. Just the plain truth, the way I'd tell it to my own family. My name is Joshua Smith, and by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what's been working against your kidneys this whole time, and most likely, you've already had a dose of it today. Stay with me. Thank you for spending a few minutes on the thing that matters most, your health. My job isn't only to treat kidney disease, it's to keep people from ending up in my office in the first place. And if there's one thing that keeps me up at night, it's watching someone full of energy and life get handed a diagnosis that could have been avoided years earlier. The trouble with your kidneys is that they never complain. Picture the most sophisticated filtration system ever built, running around the clock without a single day off. That's what's inside you right now. Your kidneys clean every drop of your blood, clear out waste and toxins, keep your blood pressure in check, help your body make red blood cells, and even keep your bones strong. Everything else in your body depends on them quietly doing their job. So what happens when that system starts to break down? Nothing dramatic. No alarm bell. No sudden pain. Kidney disease creeps in over years, sometimes decades, and by the time real symptoms show up, swollen ankles, exhaustion that sleep won't fix, muscle cramps, a huge amount of damage may already be done, and some of it permanent. I've had patients look me dead in the eye and ask, "How did I not know?" And the honest answer is, nobody ever warned them clearly about the everyday habits working against them the whole time. That's exactly why we're here today. Knowledge is protection. So let's talk about why age makes this worse in the first place. Just like your eyesight or your joints, your kidneys age too. They're filtering power. What doctors call the glomerular filtration rate gradually declines decade after decade. Think of it like a car engine with a lot of miles on it. It still runs, but it doesn't have the strength it once had. Now imagine feeding that aging engine cheap fuel and pushing it up steep hills every single day. It wears out faster. That's precisely what happens when we keep exposing our kidneys year after year to things that felt harmless in our 20s but leave small, invisible scars that quietly accumulate. And here's the connection that matters most. As we age, high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes become far more common, and those two conditions are, by far, the leading causes of kidney failure worldwide. They hammer away at your kidney's delicate structure relentlessly. So anything that pushes you toward diabetes or high blood pressure is, indirectly, an attack on your kidneys. Today, we're naming 4 of those attackers, counting down to the single worst one, the most addictive, the most common, and honestly, the most dangerous of them all. We're starting with something you won't find in your fridge or pantry. Poison number 4 isn't something you eat or drink. It's something you're not doing enough of. I'm talking about sitting, hours parked in front of a screen, day after day. You might wonder what that has to do with your kidneys. The answer is more than you'd think. Your kidneys depend entirely on strong, steady blood flow to do their job well. Picture a fast-moving river, clean, powerful, self-clearing. Now picture a stagnant pond, murky, still, slowly turning toxic. Movement is what keeps your circulation flowing like that river. When you're active, your heart pumps harder, and blood surges through the millions of tiny filtering units packed into your kidneys, giving them the force they need to work properly. Sit for hours on end, and that flow slows to a crawl, like the pond. And that sluggishness opens the door wide for the real enemies: excess weight, high blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes. Inactivity makes your body less efficient at handling blood sugar, sets the stage for insulin resistance, and adds strain to your heart, which drives your blood pressure up. Every one of those effects lands squarely on your kidneys. The good news? You don't need a gym membership to fix this. Start by simply interrupting long stretches of sitting. Set a phone reminder every hour to stand, stretch, grab a glass of water, walk to the other room. That alone gets your circulation moving again. Then build in a short daily walk. 10 minutes is a perfectly good starting point. Add a little more each week. Consistency beats intensity every time. And if mobility is limited, seated exercises count just as much. Arm circles, leg lifts, ankle rotations. Any movement beats no movement. Every step is another wave of clean, strong blood reaching your kidneys. Poison number 3 is probably sitting in your medicine cabinet right now. It's the pill you reach for without thinking twice. For a headache, a sore back, aching joints. I'm talking about NSAIDs. Ibuprofen, naproxen, diclofenac, names we all recognize. Millions of people assume that because these are available over the counter, they must be safe in any amount. That assumption is exactly the trap. Here's what's actually happening inside you. Your kidneys rely on natural compounds called prostaglandins to keep their tiny blood vessels open and blood flowing properly. NSAIDs work by blocking prostaglandins to relieve your pain, but they can't tell the difference between the ones causing discomfort and the ones protecting your kidneys. They block both. The result is that the small vessels feeding your kidneys narrow, and the blood and oxygen they depend on gets choked off. It's like stepping on a garden hose. The water stops reaching the plant, and the plant starts to wither. The real danger is that this happens silently. Someone managing chronic arthritis pain who reaches for these pills every single day is, essentially, stepping on that hose day after day for years. The filtering units slowly scar over and stop working, and there's rarely a symptom warning you until the damage is already extensive. So what's the answer? Just live with the pain? Absolutely not. The answer is being smart about it and looping in a professional. First, never treat chronic pain with daily NSAID use on your own. If pain sticks around for more than a few days, that's a signal to see a doctor and find the actual cause, not just keep muting the alarm. Second, be fully honest with your doctor about everything you take, including over-the-counter products, since many cold and sleep medications contain NSAIDs you might not even realize are in there. Third, know your alternatives. Acetaminophen is often gentler on the kidneys at the correct dose, and non-drug options like heat, cold, stretching, or physical therapy can meaningfully cut down how often you need a pill at all. Occasional use is fine. Daily, unsupervised use is playing a dangerous game with organs you can't replace easily. Poison number 2 hides in plain sight in kitchens everywhere, and most people completely misunderstand where it's coming from. I'm talking about sodium. Patients often tell me, "But doctor, I barely touch the salt shaker." That's the misconception right there. The shaker is rarely the real source. The overwhelming majority of the sodium in a typical diet comes from processed and packaged foods. Bread, deli meats, cheese, canned soups, sauces, frozen dinners. Manufacturers add it for shelf life and flavor, and it hides in foods that don't even taste salty. Here's why it matters. Your body needs a small amount of sodium, but flood it with excess, and the balance tips. To dilute all that extra sodium, your body holds onto fluid and signals your kidneys not to release water. That extra fluid increases the volume of blood moving through your arteries, and pressure inside them climbs. That's high blood pressure, the second leading cause of kidney failure on the planet. Picture the delicate filtering vessels in your kidneys as a fine silk cloth and high blood pressure as a fire hose blasting it at full force day after day. Over time, it tears, it scars, and it fails. The fix starts with becoming a label reader. This isn't about bland food. It's about eating smarter. Flip the package over and check the sodium content. You'll be shocked at how much shows up in foods that don't taste salty at all, like cereal or crackers. Aim to stay under roughly 2,000 to 2,300 milligrams a day, or closer to 1,500 if you already have high blood pressure. Cook more at home, where you control every ingredient. Lean on herbs and spices instead. Garlic, onion, pepper, rosemary, turmeric, lemon, vinegar. They transform a dish without adding a gram of sodium. And if you use canned vegetables, give them a quick rinse under the tap. It strips away a surprising amount of the added salt. Within a few weeks, your palate resets and food starts tasting genuinely vivid again. And now, the top of the list. The single most dangerous poison of all. The most addictive, the most widespread, and the one doing the most damage while getting the least blame. I'm talking about sugar and its constant partner, refined flour. Yes, the desserts, the soda, but also the white bread, the pasta, the pastries. In my experience, this combination is the #1 reason diabetes remains the leading cause of kidney failure worldwide. It's the path I watch patients walk down again and again, often without realizing it, until dialysis becomes the only option left. Why does it earn the top spot? Because sugar and refined flour don't attack from one direction. They come at your kidneys from every angle at once. First front, a direct route to diabetes. Sugar and flour convert almost instantly into a flood of glucose in your bloodstream. Your pancreas scrambles to pump out insulin to manage it, and if this repeats daily for years, your cells stop responding properly to that insulin. That's type 2 diabetes, and once blood sugar stays chronically elevated, it essentially caramelizes the delicate filtering structures inside your kidneys, stiffening and destroying them. A process called diabetic nephropathy, and it's the fastest route to dialysis that exists. Second front, blood pressure. We used to think salt was the only dietary driver of hypertension, but excess sugar raises blood pressure on its own, meaning even someone who carefully controls their salt intake can still be under attack. Third front, chronic inflammation. Sugar acts like a constant, low-grade fire throughout your body, damaging the lining of your blood vessels, including the ones feeding your kidneys. Fourth front, weight gain and fatty liver. Sugar your body doesn't burn gets stored as fat, driving up your weight and depositing fat in your liver, which throws off your entire metabolism and adds even more strain onto your kidneys. That's a full assault coming from 4 directions at once, which is exactly why it takes the #1 spot. The good news is this enemy is beatable, and it starts with knowledge. First, learn sugar's disguises. High fructose corn syrup, dextrose, sucrose, maltose, they're all the same threat with a different name on the label. Second, cut the most obvious sources first. Sugary drinks, soda, sweetened iced tea, bottled juice. A single can carry more than 10 teaspoons of sugar. Swap them for water, sparkling water with lemon, or unsweetened tea. This single change alone can be transformative. Third, be wary of low-fat products. Many strip out fat and load in sugar to keep the flavor, so always reach for the plain, natural version and add real fruit yourself. Fourth, trade refined flour for whole grains. Real whole grain bread, brown rice, oats. The fiber slows sugar absorption dramatically. And finally, build your diet around real food. Vegetables, fruit, legumes, lean meat, fish, eggs, nuts. When whole food fills most of your plate, sugar and refined flour naturally start disappearing from your life almost on their own. Let's pull it together. Poison number 4, a sedentary lifestyle that lets your circulation stagnate. Number 3, painkillers that can quietly choke off your kidney's blood supply. Number 2, hidden salt that drives your blood pressure through the roof. And number 1, the true champion of silent destruction, sugar and refined flour, attacking from every direction at once. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this to hand you the power to change the outcome. Kidney disease doesn't have to be your story. Every one of these poisons is within your control. You decide when you get up out of that chair. You decide when to call your doctor. You decide when to flip over the label. You decide when to reach for water instead of soda. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just one small step today and another tomorrow. Every walk, every home-cooked meal, every label you actually read is another brick in the wall protecting your kidneys. If this opened your eyes even a little, please share it. Send it to your parents, your partner, a friend who needs to hear it. Information like this is worth passing on. And if you want more straight talk like this to protect your health, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. Now I want to hear from you. What surprised you the most on this list? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. Thank you for spending this time on the thing that matters most. Your kidneys work tirelessly for you every second of every day. Return the favor. I'm Joshua Smith. Take care of your kidneys, take care of your life, and I'll see you in the next one.